Good morning, guys. So I had a dream that I just shared with you, and please watch part one because I'm not going to repeat the dream. It did have to do with, in my dream, it had to deal with my son. But the Lord wanted me to share this because this is not just someone's son or daughter, this is someone else's loved one. And however it resonates with you, God has already shown you the person. So for me, He's wanting me to be able to relate, to connect to this, so I have a better really understanding of what the Lord is trying to show. And there are things about this that does resonate personally with me, but He's using people that are in and a part of my life to really paint a picture and to really bring a feeling to me so that I will pray, so that I will act. And I am praying for whoever this is for, whoever this resonates with. Please watch the first one. This is the shared dream concerning the cigarette. Okay, so I shared a little bit of the dream in there, and I shared some of the representations of the boys, and that there's a cigarette, and some of the representations of what those cigarettes mean about, like, either health issues, a secret that was being suppressed, something that was out in the open, but obviously a secret for that person that they were having to suppress, or they felt they had to suppress, or they wanted to suppress for whatever the reason is. They were suppressing it, they were trying to hide it, but it is something that is out, that is kind of either in the public or it's just obvious. There's some obvious things that are going on, and you have seen the signs. Maybe you even knew ahead of time this was coming, or this is a fear that this is a possible thing happening. Okay, but the Lord is sharing with me that this is a lot of people and their children, okay, and what they're dealing with their children. The enemy is trying to cause divisions between you and your children, or you and your child, trying to interfere with plans that God has for you, your family. But this division, the whole purpose for the enemy to cause this division is because the enemy knows that kingdoms that are divided cannot stand. So if he can create a large enough crack through these divisions, then he can hopefully stop or get in the way of destroying this family, will destroy what God is trying to do for this family, trying to do through this family, okay? Because this family has been brought together for a reason, okay? And God has specific plans, specific callings, specific purpose, and there are things that He is working through you, and that you have been trying to instill in your children, because you know that your legacy and what God is doing in you, through you, for you, whatever is going to be done also with your children and for your children and their future. You're, kind of setting them up. So in my dream, I was preparing a meal. I was preparing something, and that's partly what that is relating to, referring to. You're setting something up so that you will have something for your children. God is doing it for you because actually He's got something for your children that is going to begin with you. Now, in my life and in your life, God is using you most likely to break certain generational curses and break certain things, that have been with you and your family, your bloodline for a very long time. So now this is the new generation, the next generation, and the enemy is trying to divide it. He's trying to break that. He is trying to conquer that. But there's a lot of manipulation happening with our children right now, and there is kind of a target that is being placed upon our children. So we need to come together, we need to pray, we need to be doing something about it, which is why this dream was given, to kind of highlight what's going on and see that you have already known, you kind of foreseen some stuff. And so in my dream, I've seen my son from a distance doing this thing. where he's smoking this cigarette. And because I seen him from a distance and I'm having to walk a distance to meet him, God is showing me that that represents how I foreseen certain things. There's been signs, there's been warnings all along. But now he's bringing me to the point where I'm meeting him and I'm confronting him. So God is bringing this out to be confronted, to be dealt with, okay? And he wants you to deal with him, the Lord. The Lord wants you and him to deal with this. It's not something that you will have to physically necessarily confront, but perhaps, and the Lord will direct you if that's what you need to do. He'll tell you how, he'll tell you when, he'll give you the help. But he's bringing all of this to your attention. He's drawing all of this out. Now, the things that are being suppressed, the things that are being hidden, you might already have a knowing of, like a spiritual knowledge. You might already have seen it in spirit, but it is also something that is kind of obvious and out there in a way. And the Lord is dealing with it and confronting these issues. But whoever this is somebody that, yes, they have made choices. Yes, they are of a particular age or coming into a particular age where they're going to be held accountable for their role and their wrongdoing in making these decisions, in going along with this. However, these are people, children, a person, whatever, and most likely children, because that is what I feel like. It's the spirit of children that are being manipulated, and the enemy is trying to turn their heart against you. And so they are being fed all kinds of lies and deception, and their minds have been severely warped by whoever or whatever, you know, is around them. And that represents the boys in my dream, the influencers. These boys have made some sort of offer, and they have done so in a way that whatever it is looks very appealing. And so they're following that. They're following this influence, this influencer, and it is getting them and will get them into some trouble. Now, the boys can be anyone, okay? They could be a person that is of their own age, so other kids in their school. It could be the other parent. It could be other family members, because I know there's a lot of things going on with other family members, and they are all being used, okay? All of these people are actually tools that the enemy is using, because he can't directly touch or get to you. He can't directly affect you. So he's going around and around and around and just seeking whom he can and will devour. So now the focus is on your children or someone very close to you, that where you have that kind of bond with them. Okay, so that person is being manipulated, and there's a lot of destruction, okay, that is actually going to wreak havoc on somebody's health, because the cigarette also is not just a disgusting habit. It also signifies something to do with their health. So it could be that there's one or two of these representatives that speak to you and that are true for you and your story, or it could be all of these things are, you know, being brought to your attention. Health problems, secrets, certain temptations. There's a draw, a lure going on for sure. And it could be like all of those things at once, or just one or two of those things. But God is saying that he's got his hand on it now. And so now he's calling parents together to really do some warfare for their children and for their spiritual or physical manipulators. Whoever it is, God has got your attention now. And so just keep your eyes and your ears open. But this is a time God is calling you to prayer and to do warfare for your children right now in this season, because they are targets of the enemy and they are under some serious influence and they're being drawn away. So do not let the enemy draw them any further